Good morning, Cantina Dwellers. This is Stephanie, your friendly chaos coordinator, bar manager, bar owner, Wookiee Wrangler. Today I want to talk a little bit about how we got to where we got. Who's to blame in the Star Wars, Disney, Lucasfilm, fakakta mess. Okay. You saw the meme I posted. It's a quote from George Lucas. We all know the inordinate amount of shit he took for making the sequels the way he wanted to. This is a man who, after 20 years, was able to make the movies he wanted to make. Now, were they necessarily better than the OT? No, they weren't. Were they as bad as the Parasite, sleaze, shill media and the Kevin Smith type poop sniffing fanboys think they were? No, they weren't. Was Hayden Christiansen really that bad? No, of course he wasn't. Did Jake Lloyd deserve all the bullshit he took? No. Here's the deal. When I see someone like Lord Raylo, Steele Saunders, Prince Raylo, Brian the douchebag Young, that sleazy social media hitman Jason Ward, and those types of people, because those people are definitely prequel haters. Go after the prequels. Go after even the OT now. Apparently, Steele Saunders now hates the original trilogy, but I think he's only saying that shit to pander to the slutty little Raylos that consist of now his only fan base. It's interesting to me. It's fans like that. It's sleazy media out there. Critics who can only criticize, they can never do. Who caused this mess? George Lucas. Without him, we wouldn't have Star Wars. Do you think anybody else could have come up with this idea? No. With the spirituality, the history, the mythology that went into building it? No. Lucas came from a generation that personally drives me nuts, but also is very interested in what's next. What can we do to make this technology better? Do this, do that. How can we tell better stories? And back in the day, when Hollywood was looking for new blood, they went to the film schools. They went to Irv Kirshner, who's teaching at USC, and asked him, who are your best students? Kirshner introduced them to people like, George Lucas. They discovered Steven Spielberg and places like that. Nowadays, I would say apprentice yourself to somebody like Steven Spielberg, like Peter Weir, like Christopher Nolan, like Ridley Scott, like James Cameron, okay? Because the film schools aren't teaching you anything new now, all right? But they're back in the 60s, they were the place where vision and technology and storytelling sort of came together. And that is where George Lucas, with his first movie, appeared. And, Hollywood gave him a chance with American Graffiti, and life as we know it changed. Lucas and Steve Jobs and Steven Spielberg and those kinds of people, they don't come around any more than once a century. They're not merely inventors. They're world changers, world builders. I'm talking to you on an iPhone about a filmmaker that took film in a completely different direction than anybody ever thought it could be. Not only with storytelling, but with technology, special effects, sound, music, knowing exactly how he wanted things to sound, and getting John Williams on board. Everything came together. It was, I think, destiny. There's a purpose to it. And for any of these people, the prequel haters, the media that attacked Lucas, Jake Lloyd, Hayden Christiansen, to me, I say, piss on you. The reason why is this. Had you left him alone, had you celebrated what was going on, we would not be here with most of the fans in full open revolt, with Galaxy's Edge teetering on the edge of oblivion already, and it's only been open for a month, 3 weeks, with Disney thinking they may just lay off 30% of the workers at Disney World. That's already been viewed as a flop, with the last movie in the Skywalker saga probably not making $1 billion, maybe 800 million, but it's not going to make $1 billion. This is on you. This is on you. All right? There's only so much a man can take. George Lucas has always been a maverick in Hollywood. He didn't want to be part of Hollywood. He didn't want Lucasfilm to be part of Hollywood. And this is why Lucasfilm did so much better than most of the rest of Hollywood. Is because it was not only on the cutting edge of technology and sound, etc. It was on the cutting edge of storytelling. Cutting edge of storytelling. See, when you go independent, and George Lucas almost single-handedly built the independent movie business by doing what he did. You go independent, you have freedom and the ability to say and do as you like. You have no one to answer to. And that is probably why the media and Hollywood hates him so much. All right? Because he didn't take their shit. He took his stuff, he made his own things, a hell of a lot more successfully than they ever could, and they had to honor him. They had to honor his movies. They had to honor the actors that were in those movies. Mark Hamill, Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, Billy D. Williams, Liam Neeson, Ewan McGregor, the great and powerful Peter Cushing, Alec Guinness, you name it, okay? Ian McDermott, on and on and on and on, okay? But still, he did it his own way. And that was the biggest crime of all. Therefore, when the prequels came out, he got an inordinate amount of shit because he made those movies without a big studio backing him until they had to distribute it. And they had to. And they made billions. See, here's the deal. The idiots who do marketing research at Disney who, oh no, we can't include the prequels. We can't include Lucas. He's too unpopular with the fans. Actually, not fucking really, but okay. Here's the deal. Why did merchandise fly off the shelf? Why did the movies make that as much money as they did? Why? Let me tell you why. Because they weren't that unpopular. That is a myth created to attack Lucas and everybody that was part of those movies. Okay? All right? It's not that you guys didn't want to know those stories. You didn't want George Lucas to tell those stories because he's too independent, too willful to follow your fucking fucked up rules, your arbitrary piles of crap. I mean, I could say a lot here about the things that Hollywood does and the things that Hollywood is a part of, and the injustices done to other people in the business that I personally really care about and love. All right? Getting a star on the Walk of Fame is one thing, but getting honored with an Oscar is something completely different. And there's an actor or two that haven't played by your rules, Hollywood. Your rules, media. Your rules, fan dicks. They've been screwed over at the Oscars. Right? An AFI tribute. Thanks for playing. That's what that is. An Oscar, that means something. It still means something. It's not as much. It doesn't mean as much as it did back in the 80s, but still it means something. And a lot of the people, including George Lucas, who have been overlooked at times, because he has been, even though I think he has won some Oscars, is bullshit. Okay? You give the best of the best the award they deserve, all right? You don't overlook them because they don't play your game, whatever your rules are, because I don't understand them. And quite frankly, some of the things I've heard about you, Hollywood, I don't want to be part of it. And the little girl, the 9-year-old who watched Star Wars in 1987 8 times in a row, who absolutely fell head over heels with Han Solo, is that little girl might still want to be a big dog in Hollywood, but the grown-up woman who knows what it's about don't want nothing to do with you. And you want to know what? You guys are all paying the price for what you've done, okay? And Disney's not paying the price for ignoring what was obviously there. The fans wanted real Star Wars, all right? We wanted the OT and the prequels mentioned at the theme park. We didn't get that. No one's going. We didn't want The Last Jedi. We didn't want the sequel trilogy if this is what you were going to do to Han, Leia, and Luke, okay? This is why you fail. We want Star Wars. You've given us everything, anything but. And Star Wars, without the maker, isn't Star Wars, okay? All right? You hold on to employees that are ungrateful assholes like Pablo Hidalgo. You won't take care of the problem that is Kathleen Kennedy. She's still there, like a bloated tick, still sucking off whatever's left of the franchise. Why? All right? Oh, we hated the prequels. Well, actually, no, we didn't. No. That's what you people who live in this bubble of shit echo chamber in Hollywood and in the media think. All right? But we fans didn't. And the proof is in the numbers, the merchandise, the tickets sold, the fact that everybody has copies of those Blu-rays and watches them. All right? So I'm going to read this. I'm going to read the meme, the quote from George Lucas, and then I'll end it. So he says, you go to make a movie and all you do is get criticized. People try to make decisions about what you do before you do it, and it's not much fun. You can't do anything. You can't experiment. You have to do it in a certain way. We're talking about the guy who created Star Wars, Indiana Jones. Okay? We're talking about the guy who did Willow. All right? These are big deals. And without him, a lot of the technology, the CGI, the sound, all the rest of that stuff would not exist. All right? And you guys drove him out of his baby. You took it away from him. And now you have nothing. I don't know whether this is karmic payback or what have you, but enjoy your nothing, Hollywood. Enjoy your nothing, you media hacks. Enjoy your nothing, big fat Kevin Smith poop-sniffing fanboys. Because you know what? Without Lucas and everything he brings to the table, you don't get shit. Because he is Star Wars. And if you didn't like the sequels, bite me. All right? And if you're too cowardly to go back and watch them again, bite me twice. This is Steph signing out. See you around the galaxy. See you around the cantina. Please remember to tip those Wookiee bartenders 20%. And no droids, no bounty hunters, no Reylos, no Rey Nobodies, no Rey Luke's clone hand, no Rey Palpatine, no Rey clone at all of anybody, any Jedis or whatever. No Rey Kenobi, no Rey, no whatever, all right? And no fights here. No gunfights. You take that shit outside. I'll see you around the galaxy.